Welcome back. Today on The Explainer, we're diving into something you've been asking for a lot, the 2026 YouTube blueprint. You see, creating a successful channel today is no longer just about blindly uploading videos and crossing your fingers that the internet likes it. It requires a real architectural blueprint. We're going to break down the master strategy for modern creators, showing you how to transform raw ideas into a channel that actually scales, makes real money, and stands the test of time. Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to break this down into 4 key phases. First up, building the foundation. Then, the content framework. After that, we'll get into the modern wiring. And finally, the best part, the algorithm payoff. All right, kicking things off with section 1, building the foundation, specifically your niche and setup. Think of your channel like real estate. You just can't build a massive skyscraper on a swampy lot, right? So how do we find the perfect neighborhood for your content? Well, the criteria for a winning niche in 2026 are pretty strict, but man, they're incredibly rewarding. You're looking for high audience demand, low to medium competition, solid long-term growth, and of course, real monetization potential. Now, what's really interesting is looking at what actually hits all these marks today. Topics like GST, selling on Etsy, AI tools, and finance, they are highly profitable right now. Why? Well, they target a dedicated business audience. That means high CPMs, so advertisers are literally paying more to reach them. Plus, they generate search-based, evergreen traffic that just keeps working for you 24/7. So, once you've got that niche locked down, your digital storefront actually has to look the part. There is a huge, stark contrast between what works and what completely flops. An amateur setup, it usually has a hard-to-spell name, uses a personal email address, and has absolutely zero social proof. But a professional setup is totally different. It uses a short, snappy, niche-related name. It's got a dedicated business email for security. But here is the absolute game changer. Your banner has to instantly explain exactly what you teach, your upload schedule, and show off some social proof. When someone lands on your page, you have maybe 2 seconds to convince them to hit that subscribe button.
That's it.
Moving right along to section 2, the content framework. This is all about strategy and production. This is the actual structural framework of the house, the absolute secret sauce of what you're actually going to upload. The best way to allocate your time right now is the 70-20-10 formula. Basically, 70% of your content needs to be search-based evergreen videos, things people are always going to search for, like how to file GST. Then 20% goes to trending topics, say capitalizing on the new 2026 YouTube monetization updates. That's what gets you those crazy explosive spikes in traffic. And that last 10%, that is strictly your playground. It's for experimental content. You can play around with new formats, maybe try AI voice videos or video podcasts just to see what resonates. And you do it without risking the trust you've built with your core audience. Now, when it comes to actually hitting record, the priorities for 2026 might surprise you a bit. Audio is an absolutely crucial, non-negotiable priority, while video is honestly entirely secondary. You seriously do not need a $5,000 cinema camera. A budget smartphone shooting in 1080p, maybe paired with a cheap ring light, is literally more than enough to get you to your first 100,000 subscribers. But listen to this. Bad audio will kill a channel instantly. Investing in a solid budget microphone, like a Boya or Maono, and running your audio through noise reduction software, that is an absolute non-negotiable rule if you want people to actually stick around. All right, here is a number I really want you to just burn into your memory. 100. Your first 100 videos are strictly a learning phase. So please, do not panic if you aren't going insanely viral by video number 12. Consistency is always, always going to beat perfection. It takes time. It takes time to find your voice on camera, to dial in a fast-paced editing style, and to truly figure out what your audience wants. Okay, let's jump into section 3, the modern wiring. We're talking SEO, AI, and shorts. Let's just be real for a second. AI is completely dominating YouTube right now. If you aren't using it, you are already falling behind. But it's all about how you apply it. For ideation and script writing, you should absolutely be leaning on tools like ChatGPT to smash through writer's block. For SEO and thumbnail ideas, tools like vidIQ or TubeBuddy are pretty much essential. You should even be using AI for voice cleanup, generating your captions, and translating content to hit a global audience. The key here is that these tools aren't meant to replace your human creativity. They're here to supercharge your efficiency. And right alongside AI, shorts have become a mandatory part of any modern strategy, especially if you're looking for fast channel growth. The optimal strategy right now means posting 1 to 3 shorts every single day. The sweet spot for retention length is hovering somewhere between 15 and 40 seconds. But the most critical metric of the whole shebang, you absolutely must have a strong hook in the very first 2 seconds, or viewers are just going to scroll right past you to the next creator.
So, what does a winning hook actually sound like? Check this out. Most Etsy sellers make this GST mistake. See what that does? It immediately identifies the exact target audience, Etsy sellers, and opens up a massive urgent curiosity gap. It implies they're making a mistake right this second that could be costing them real money. It grabs attention instantly. And that is exactly how you win those first 2 seconds.
And that brings us to section 4, the algorithm payoff and monetization. This is where things get really fun.
You kind of have to forget everything you thought you knew about YouTube from a few years ago. The algorithm today is no longer just some simple view counter. It's this highly sophisticated system that obsessively prioritizes what they call satisfaction signals. It cares way, way more about returning viewers, your click-through rate, and your overall audience retention than just pure view counts. Basically, the algorithm just wants to know one thing. Did people actually feel like their time was well spent watching your video? To actually beat this algorithm, you've got to hit some very specific, measurable data goals. Your target click-through rate, or CTR, really needs to sit nicely between 5 and 10%. If you're hitting that, it means your thumbnail and title are doing their job of getting people in the door. But once they click, your target retention needs to hit 40% or higher. And to pull off that 40% mark, your pacing has to be fast, and your first 30 seconds have to be absolutely flawless. Hitting those numbers means following a very specific step-by-step growth formula. It goes like this. First, deep research. Then you write the script. Next, you design the thumbnail. Yep, the thumbnail comes before you even hit record. Only after that do you focus on the hook, optimizing the edit for retention, and finally polishing up the SEO. This exact workflow matters far, far more than buying any piece of expensive camera gear.
But look, even with the absolute perfect formula, there are some definitive don'ts you have to watch out for. I can't stress this enough. Avoid these fatal mistakes at all costs. Do not upload copy-paste content or reuse old videos. The algorithm is smart. It will spot lazy AI-generated spam channels from a mile away. Definitely don't use copyrighted music. Absolutely avoid misleading clickbait. And whatever you do, don't be inconsistent with your upload schedule. These spam tactics are basically a fast track to getting demonetized and hidden from search results forever. Just don't do it. Okay, assuming you dodge all those traps and do everything right, how would you actually get paid? Well, the crucial point here is that relying solely on Google AdSense is a massive mistake for a modern creator. What you really need is a full monetization ecosystem. We're talking YouTube ads, sure, but also affiliate marketing, selling your own digital products or templates, landing brand sponsorships, doing one-on-one consulting, and even running paid communities on apps like Telegram or WhatsApp. Having these multiple streams of income is what actually protects you if the algorithm suddenly shifts or ad rates drop. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, really grounding piece of advice from this blueprint. It says, the creators winning in 2026 are the ones solving real problems consistently. And that right there is the core philosophy you have to embrace. A perfect, thriving YouTube channel isn't just magically created overnight. It's built methodically. It takes analyzing the data, making constant, tiny improvements after every single upload, and genuinely earning your audience's trust. So, as you step back and look at your own channel strategy today, ask yourself this. Are you just chasing perfection, or are you actually solving real problems? Focus on the problems, serve your audience incredibly well, and I promise you, the massive growth will follow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer. Get out there, start building that foundation, and I will catch you next time as we keep breaking down the strategies that actually move the needle.